Welcome to the Daily Motivational Challenge. I'm your host, Julie Wilkes, and each day I'm bringing you a motivational message, a fitness tip, and a challenge. Today's motivational message is called Making Change, the Burning Platform. Most of us fear change, not necessarily because it's a bad thing. In fact, it can be a very good thing. But we fear it because it causes us to step out of our comfort zone, out of what we're familiar with, into uncharted territory. This uncharted territory can be risky because we might fail, we might be rejected, we might have something else happen that we don't want. It seems so much easier at times to stay in the comfortable place that we are where we're certain of how the outcome will be versus stepping into new space. I remember when I was a senior at Marietta College, I had what I thought was the year of my life. Everything was perfect. I had the best friends, I had the best boyfriend, I had the best environment, the best culture, the best opportunities, and the best experiences. And I remember sitting up one night talking to my friend saying, I'm so happy right now. Why does this have to change? It's a few days before graduation. I just want to stop time. I'm just so happy. I just don't want it to change. And he looked at me and said, without a question in his mind, if it didn't change, it wouldn't be as good. And he was absolutely right. Had I stayed in that space, it eventually wouldn't have been as good anymore. And now that I've stepped into this next chapter of my life, I found it to be just as fabulous. But sometimes making that step and moving into that next chapter or changing in a direction that's difficult or uncomfortable or unfamiliar can be very difficult. So if you're struggling to do that right now, I've got an idea for you. Have you heard of the term the burning platform? I'm sure you've probably heard it used in one way, shape, or form or another. But do you know the story behind it? The story is that there was a gentleman that was working in the North Sea on an oil platform. And one night he was walking along the platform and it caught fire. Now they were always taught to never jump into the water if such a thing should happen, because the jump was 150 feet down. And if he survived the jump, once he hit the water it was 40 degrees. And even with protective clothing on, he could only live but for a few minutes. Well, that night he didn't have any protective clothing on, and yet he still made the jump. Amazingly, he survived. And once he recovered, he was interviewed and they asked him, "Why'd you make the jump? We've always been taught not to jump. Why'd you make the jump?" And he said, "The platform under my feet had burned away. I had no choice." So sometimes we have to create an urgency in our life in order to move forward into change. And this leads beautifully into my fitness tip for the day. If you're at a point in your fitness focus or your nutritional focus where you've been trying to make change and you've been unsuccessful and you keep repeating the same cycles and patterns without any sort of great outcome, consider the concept of the burning platform. Sometimes you have to take away what you're comfortable in resting on in order to be able to move into that new place that you want to be. So if you come home at night with the intentions of going to the gym, and yet once you get home from work, you end up sitting on your couch and then staying there the rest of the night, then don't let yourself come home before you go to the gym. Go straight to the gym so you have no option, so you have no ground for your feet to stay on that causes you to sit on that couch versus go to the gym. Take away that platform that you're resting on and allow yourself to jump right in. So I challenge you today to identify a place in your life where you've wanted to make change but haven't, or maybe you've been trying and have been unsuccessful, and create some urgency around it. Allow yourself to feel the need to jump versus stand on steady ground. I'm Julie Wilkes, and until tomorrow, here's wishing you a fabulous day.